Well, on today's program, I'm pleased to welcome Jim Core, the VP of Sales for Institutional Home Depot Pro. Hello, Jim. How are you this morning?
How are you? I'm glad to be here. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, I'm doing well. The spring is here. The weather is looking pretty good. It's going to probably rain tomorrow, but that's another story. But yeah, it's good to get to know you here on this segment. What we want to talk about is leadership, specifically in part the ISSA Rising Star Award in honor of Jimmy Core. Now, that name is obviously tied to you, and it means a lot. His life was cut short in a tragic swimming accident, and he was 24 years of age. But in his short lifetime, he touched many people and set a supreme example. He cared, a great example for all of us. So now we have this award in his honor, his name's on it. And I'd like to ask you how you feel about that and the legacy he left.
Yeah, first, I'm honored that Jimmy's name is on the award. It was helped along by many leaders in the industry, including Ken Bodie and Warren Daughtridge and Warren Williams and Dean DiCarlo, and they helped get this award started in his name because they had the opportunity to know Jimmy and work with Jimmy. He grew up in the industry because I've been in the industry so long, and he became a national sales manager for Misco. But he had this really rare quality to be able to connect with people of all different ages and all different places. And that really is what our business is all about, as we are often at night working with people that are cleaning floors. And then sometimes we're with CEOs and head of school systems explaining processes and new opportunities. And he somehow had that. Not sure he learned that from me, but he did have that. So we created this foundation in order to remember his name. Everybody at the ISSA got behind us and created this award. And we're really excited. We've given it 4 times now. So 4 years running, it has been given to 4 different companies.
Yeah, I know it makes you feel good knowing the impact, and you care about rising young leaders. I know that. You mentioned you don't know where he got it. Well, maybe he is a chip off the old block. You raised him. And you saw him grow up and how he evolved as a young man.
Yeah, most people would tell you probably his mother is where he got that.
Yeah, I've heard that many times. That's a common saying. Doesn't mean it's always true. Maybe it's a team effort there, Jim. Let's talk about the foundation. We have the award, we have the memories, and we have the impact of all that on young leaders who are chosen to be part of that. But the foundation, it's the Jimmy Core Foundation. jimmycore.org. You can see the link down below. But tell us about that. What does that mean to you?
Yeah, absolutely. So when Jimmy passed away, it was a week before his 25th birthday, and his mother and Laura and his sister Chelsea and I got together and said, hey, the most important thing for us is to remember Jimmy. We want to talk about Jimmy and all the great things he did, and how big his life was and what it meant to other people. So we started a foundation. The foundation really has 3 tenets. One is to help the homeless community, and I'll explain why we picked that in a second. The other one is to remind people to be kind to each other. So we have a saying that's called "Be like Jimmy," and it just reminds us to be kind to other people. And then the third one was to keep his name alive, so that people talked about him and told the stories and knew what he was about. The reason we picked the homeless community is Jimmy always stopped on the street to help people with a meal or help even with a ride. And he even, there's a story where he took a guy picked him up and took him through the drive-thru at Burger King and bought him breakfast. And just because he could, and he had the means to do that, and he thought the guy needed a leg up. So I was the guy, his dad, that said, don't give those guys your money. Don't give those guys, they're just wasting your time. They could do something with their lives. And his thought process was, hey, you don't know what happened that made them get here. And maybe they zigged when they should have zagged, and that could be anybody. And so he said, a leg up, a meal, a clean place to sleep is the least I can do, and maybe that gets them back on track. So we focused the foundation on helping the homeless and celebrating his name.
So Jim, with the foundation, what specifically are you working on there?
Yeah, that's a great question, and we'd love to talk about that. In the foundation, we raise money through an auction and a big event once a year, and we only work on tangible projects. So far in the short time of the foundation, we've built 2 freestanding laundry facilities where people can come and wash their clothes so that they can have clean clothes every day. It's kind of a cool connection since Jimmy was in the chemical business and the cleaning business. That really helps. We built a freestanding clothing closet and even a meeting center for homeless people to come and get counseling on how to get back into mainstream society. So we don't actually just give any money away. We only build stuff. And that way we put Jimmy's name on it, which helps us do 2 things: help the homeless community and remember him through these projects.
Great story. Maybe you're a chip off his block a little bit.
Maybe so. Well, we certainly learned from him. There is no doubt.
Yeah. So nice story. As he grew up, anything to share that you noticed in him as a younger person that kind of made you see something that he was going to be?
Sure. So Jimmy was always a fun kid, but in high school, I think he really grew into himself. He was a leader in his school, president of the student body, an honor student, all-state athlete. But he there was never really an in crowd. It was just the crowd. So I always noticed that he was willing to hang out or be friends with or work with anybody, no matter their age, no matter where they came from or what they did. He's really a great lesson in kindness and inclusion, a little bit ahead of his time, for sure.
Well, Jim, it sounds like a great story, an inspiration, and a legacy left behind that will last for many years. Thank you for joining us today.